She thought her past was buried forever, until a stranger walked through the door, carrying the exact smile of the man she lost in a fire. Same warmth, same eyes, same impossible feeling. But he looked at her like they had never met. No memory, no past, no idea that he once risked everything just to save her. So how do you face someone your heart still recognizes when their mind does not? And what happens when love refuses to stay forgotten and begins to remember on its own? Stay with me, because this is not just a story about loss. It is about the moment love finds its way back when everything else is gone. Before we dive into the incredible story, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you never miss our powerful, life-changing content. Thank you for listening to this heartfelt story. If it moved you, share it, comments below, and let someone know you are never alone. I remember the dust first. Fine, golden, restless, carried by the prairie wind that never truly rests, stung my eyes as I stood outside the old trading post, hands trembling for reasons I could not yet name. I had moved on, or so I told myself, on quiet nights when memory pressed too close. Then the door opened, slow creak, wood against time, and the air shifted. He stepped in, like a story that had waited too long to be told, boots heavy with miles, coat worn thin, eyes searching, and then, that smile. My breath caught sharp, sudden, like cold water against skin. The same warmth, the same softness, that once held my entire world together. Impossible. The room narrowed, voices faded, even the wind seemed to pause. At the edges of the moment, he looked at me, not with recognition, but with something deeper, something that stirred beneath the surface of knowing. My chest tightened. Pain rose, old familiar, yet alive again, in a way that felt almost kind. I stepped closer, each movement slow, careful, as if the ground itself might break beneath truth. You! My voice fell, foreign, like it belonged to another life. He tilted his head, confusion brushing his features, yet the smile remained, unchanged, unbroken, a ghost that refused to stay buried. The scent of leather and rain wrapped around me. Too real, too close. My heart pounded, loud, uneven, aching with something that refused to fade. And in that fragile, suspended second, understood. Love never truly leaves. Wait, it reshapes itself. In strangers, in moments, in impossible returns. And I reached for him, fingers trembling, as the past and present collided in one unbearable, beautiful truth. And the world began to move again, but nothing inside me remained the same. His sleeve brushed my fingers, warm, not memory, not illusion, warm. A tremor moved through me, slow rising, like the earth before a storm breaks open. I know that smile, I whispered, barely sound, barely breath. He studied me, softer now, as if something inside him leaned closer to understanding. I have been told that before, he said, gentle, careful, like he carried fragile things within. The wind pushed through the doorway, lifting dust, wrapping us in a quiet haze that felt almost sacred. My pulse echoed in my ears. You used to stand just like that, I said, voice steadier now, pulled by something deeper than fear. One shoulder lower, like the world rested unevenly on you. Flicker, quick, crossed his face. Not recognition, something older, something buried. He shifted, and the floor creaked beneath him, the sound sharp, too loud in the fragile space between us. I do not remember you, he admitted, yet his voice held weight, as if the truth hurt in ways he could not name. Pain pressed into my chest, not sharp, not cruel, but wide, endless, like a horizon that refused to close. I remember enough for both of us, I said, faint smile breaking through. Inside, a horse stamped the ground, impatient, alive, and the scent of rain deepened. He stepped closer, so close now, that I could see the faint scar, near his brow, the same place my fingers once traced, under a softer sky. "You look at me like I belong to you," he said, quiet, searching. I shook my head slow. "No," I breathed. "Like you belong to something we lost." The words settled between us, heavy, yet tender. His hand lifted, hesitant, uncertain, and hovered near mine, not touching, almost. The space between our skin burned with something neither of us could escape. And then, his fingers closed the distance. Spark, not sharp, but deep, like something ancient, recognizing its own echo. My breath unraveled. The world tilted, soft at the edges, yet painfully clear, at the center where we stood. He inhaled slow, as if my presence carried a memory his mind could not reach, but his soul refused to release. "This feeling," he murmured, voice low, unsteady. I nodded, because words felt too small for something this vast. Outside, thunder rolled, distant, approaching, quiet warning, or a promise. His grip tightened, not forceful, but certain, as if letting go would cost him more than he understood. "I see flashes," he said suddenly, a searching mine. "Light, laughter, and you." He stopped, jaw tightening, as if the memory resisted him. Hope surged, bright, dangerous, spreading through the cracks pain had left behind. "Do not force it," I whispered, lifting my free hand to steady him. My palm met his chest, solid, alive, his heartbeat strong beneath it, wild and uneven. The contact broke something open. He exhaled sharply, eyes closing, and for a moment, just a moment, his face softened into someone I knew, like breath, like home. My chest tightened. "There you are," I breathed. His eyes opened again, confusion rushing back, yet slower now, like it no longer fully belonged. "Stay," he said, sudden, urgent, fingers tightening around mine. The words settled deep inside me, aching in a way that felt almost like healing. Rain began to fall, soft at first, then steady, tapping against the roof, wrapping the moment in quiet insistence. "I never left," I answered, voice trembling with truth. I had carried too long. He stepped closer still. No space now, no distance left to protect either of us. His forehead nearly touched mine, breath mingling, warm, uncertain, real. And something shifted again, deeper this time, as if the past itself leaned forward, ready to be remembered. And his lips parted, as another fragment rose through the storm inside him. And his lips parted, as another fragment rose through the storm inside him. "My hands," he whispered, staring down at them, as if they held secrets older than his own name. I followed his gaze. Those same hands that once built our shelter, board by board, under a sky wide with promise. "They remember," I said softly. Rain thickened, steady now, wrapping the world outside in silver threads that blurred everything except this moment. He turned his hands over, slow, disbelieving, like a man reading a language he almost understood. "There was a fire," he said, voice tightening, each word pulled from somewhere deep. The air shifted, imagined, yet vivid, licked at the edges of memory. My chest seized. "Yes," I answered, barely holding the weight of it. His breath hitched. "I ran," he continued, eyes unfocused now, lost between then and now. "To reach someone." Silence pressed in, expectant. Even the rain seemed to listen. My fingers curled tighter around his. "You reached me," I said, the truth landing softly between us. His eyes snapped back to mine. Searching, aching. And you were. He stopped. But this time, it was different. The memory stood there, clear, waiting. I felt it too. That fragile edge, where past becomes present. Say it, I breathed. The room seemed to lean closer. The scent of smoke, faint imagined, threaded through the rain-washed air. His hand lifted, not hesitant now, and touched my cheek, warm, certain. His thumb brushed lightly, as if tracing a path he had walked before, without knowing why. You were everything, he said, voice breaking open, with quiet truth. The words settled deep, not loud, not dramatic, but steady, like roots finding water again. Tears blurred my sight, yet I smiled through them, because something lost had begun to return, in its own careful way. Thunder cracked, closer now, shaking the walls, reminding us that time still moved forward. He leaned in slightly, forehead finally resting against mine, and in that contact, another memory surged, stronger, clearer, pulling him deeper into what we once were. And his breath caught sharply, as the truth rose fully to the surface. And his breath caught sharply, as the truth rose fully to the surface. My name came out fractured, as if it had been buried beneath years of silence. I held still, heart pounding, pulse trembling, through every inch of me. You said it once, I whispered, voice barely steady. In the dark, when the fire had almost taken everything. Rain lashed harder now, fierce, insistent, like the sky itself, refused to look away. His grip tightened. I was not alone, he said, a searching mine, with growing certainty. No, I answered, stepping closer still, closing the last fragile distance. You had me. The words settled, heavy with all we had been, all we had lost, all that somehow still remained. His jaw trembled, emotion rising, like a tide he could not hold back. I carried you, he said slowly, each word clearer now, through smoke, through falling beams, through fear that clawed at breath itself. My chest tightened, the memory vivid, burning, alive again in every detail. Yes, I breathed. His eyes softened, not with confusion now, but with recognition that reached deeper than thought. You were shaking, he continued, his thumb still brushing my cheek, anchoring us both. But you kept telling me to keep going. A broken laugh escaped me, soft, fragile, wrapped in something stronger than grief. I always knew you would make it, I said. He shook his head, slow, certain. No, he whispered. I made it because of you. The truth of it settled into the space between us, quiet, unavoidable, binding. Inside, the storm surged, wind pressing against the walls, rain striking harder, as if the past itself demanded to be felt fully. He leaned closer, his breath warm, uneven, and I felt it again, that pull, stronger now, undeniable, drawing us back to something unfinished. My name is. He stopped, not from doubt, but from the weight of what it meant, to remember, to return, to belong again, and his fingers tightened around mine, as the next piece of truth rose slowly, inevitably, toward the light, and his fingers tightened around mine, as the next piece of truth rose slowly, inevitably, toward the light. Elijah, he said at last, the name settling into the air, like something long exiled, finally finding home. The sound of it, familiar, broke something open inside me. Elijah, I repeated, feeling it bloom again, on my tongue, exactly where it had always belonged. His eyes closed briefly, not in pain now, but in recognition, as if the name had unlocked a door that refused to stay shut. I hear your voice with it, he murmured, calling me back. Rain softened, not gone, but gentler, like the storm itself had exhaled. You always came back, I said, my hand sliding into his. With quiet certainty, his gaze held mine. Steady now, no longer searching, but seeing. There was a hill, he said slowly. Another memory rising. Grass bending in the wind. And you standing there. My breath caught. The image sharp, achingly clear. I waited for you there, I whispered. Every evening. A flicker of sorrow crossed his face. Not heavy, but honest. I was late, he said. I shook my head gently. You arrived. The simplicity of it. Wrapped around us. Forgiving. Stronger than all the time. That tried to pull us apart. He lifted my hand slightly. Studying it. As if it carried pieces of him. He had misplaced. I left you once, he said quietly. The words hung. Fragile. Dangerous. But I did not turn away. You were taken by the fire, I answered. Truth steady in my voice. You never chose to leave. His shoulders eased. Just a little. As if the weight of guilt shifted into something he could finally carry. The room felt warmer now. Not from flame, but from something returning. Life. He stepped closer again. Drawn. Certain. Until the space between us became nothing at all. His hand rose, cupping my face fully now. Not hesitant, not unsure. And I leaned into it, feeling every moment we had lost and found again, woven into that touch. And his voice, low and steady, carried the beginning of something new, as another memory pressed forward to be spoken. And his voice, low and steady, carried the beginning of something new, as another memory pressed forward to be spoken. The hill, he said softly, eyes holding mine with quiet certainty. I promised you something there. The wind outside slowed, as if the world itself leaned in to listen. My heart trembled, not with fear now, but with something fuller, deeper. Oh, returning carefully, after a long absence. You did, I whispered. His thumb traced my cheek again, gentle, reverent. I said that no matter what came, fire, distance, time, I would find my way back to you. The words settled around us, not grand, not loud, but unshakable. Tears slipped free, warm against his hand. Yet my smile held steady. And you did, I said. Not perfectly, not easily, but truly. The rain eased into a soft hush. The storm finally passing, leaving the air clean. He rested his forehead against mine. Both of us breathing in the same quiet rhythm. No longer searching. No longer lost. I forgot everything, he said, voice threaded with honesty, except how it felt to belong to you. I closed my eyes, letting that truth settle deep, where pain once lived alone. Love remembers, I answered gently, even when we cannot. Silence followed, not empty, but full, of everything we had endured, everything we had found again. Outside the clouds parted, and a soft light stretched across the land, touching the earth, warming it slowly, patiently, like us. He took my hand fully now, firm, certain, and this time, there was no hesitation. In either of us, some things break, some things burn, some things are taken by time, and scattered beyond recognition. But love, true, steady, enduring love, does not vanish, waits, softens. It returns in unexpected ways, through strangers, through memory, through moments that ask us to believe again. And sometimes, if the heart stays open, if kindness survives the pain, love finds its way back home, exactly when it is needed most.